Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. So, my name is Bruno. Welcome back to the second episode of the podcast. And some updates. First of all, we have a name. It's not only the podcast anymore, it's actually the BruCast. Yes, BrunoCast. And so, there you go. We have a name. The second update is we have a mic, which is broken. So, we're not using it today. Hopefully, next time. And for today's guest, we have a good friend of mine. His name is Pedro Nastari, or as you'd say in Brazilian Portuguese, Pedro Nastari. Pedro is a Brazilian game developer, digital artist, and also a very skilled guitar player. And he's currently living in the UK. Um, he's currently also working in this famous mobile game, Candy Crush, that you probably heard about it before. It's everywhere. And yeah, I think we met each other a long time ago at university. Anyway, Pedro is here. Let's bring him. Three, two, one. Hi, Pedro. How are you doing?
Hey everybody, how's it going?
So, thanks. First of all, thanks for accepting the interview.
My pleasure.
Uh, you're so shy. We were talking before, and he was like all enthusiastic, showing the stuff. Now he's shy.
Why am I being shy? I'm not being shy. I'm being drunkish. Just kidding.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
So yeah, do you remember when we met each other? I think
Two
it
days
was
ago,
back in Brazil.
wasn't it?
What?
You remember the bar with the band?
What are you talking, what are you talking about, man?
I've known you for like 2 days now, and I got this invitation for this call, and
Oh, oh,
all
one
right.
second.
So
Look who's here. It's Lily. Do you know Lily?
I've seen photos of her on Instagram, but
Oh,
never
okay,
met
okay.
really. She doesn't seem to
She's
like you very much.
not one.
Is she a prisoner there?
Yes, yes. I treat her very badly with cat treats and a lot of food. She suffers a
You're
lot.
missing the belly rubs.
She hates it, actually.
Really? I've never heard of a
Yeah,
cat hating belly rubs.
yeah, yeah,
No, just
yeah.
kidding. Cats don't like belly rubs.
It depends. So some of them they love it.
I think you have to build the trust to be allowed to do belly rubs with cats. They're not as easy as dogs. So you have to build up to be allowed to perform belly rubs in cats.
I never reached that point with Lily. She still hates it.
All right.
Do you have this trust with your cats?
Yeah, all of them. I have three cats.
Three cats.
Three
Okay.
cats. And if they don't allow us to give belly rubs, they don't get food. So that's how we got them to. Sometimes they'll not eat for like 2 hours. That's the most they can go without food, and then they'll just ask for belly rubs. I'm kidding.
So how? I believe you, man.
Don't
S
trust a word Bruno says. He's lying all the time.
did you bring your cats from Brazil?
Yes. Well, I moved to the UK with my girlfriend, and a little afterwards we shipped the cats to to the UK.
Alone.
They had each other. Well, not alone. There was a guy who picked them up and brought them to the airport, and they were inside a sketch van for the longest time before getting inside a sketch flying van. and then
Oh,
getting here. A sketchy flying van is a airplane, just in case.
sketch. What?
Sketchy,
What?
like weird, like untrustworthy.
Okay.
Sketchy.
So you guys paid someone to just bring the cats.
Well, we hired a company to do that.
So there's a company. There are companies
There are
which
companies
are.
that fly cats and other animals around the world. Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Why is it crazy? There's tons of ways to earn money at the expense of people wanting their pets with them when they travel abroad.
That's true. Do you think they what is the craziest animal do you think they allow?
I don't know.
Alligators?
I,
I think it depends on the
I,
price
I
you're willing to pay,
well,
right?
I think it kind of depends on the the company, the traveling company. Like maybe to travel by plane, I think the most they will allow is like a big dog. You can't bring your alpaca in the plane. Sorry, sir. Find another, hire your own ship, and
I'm sure you can. Come on, it's all about money. If you pay them $10,000, they say, yeah, you can bring it on board,
no,
next to the
I think it
pilot or
comes
something.
I think it comes down to the plane structure, like the live cargo, the compartment. I mean,
Whoa.
there's just so much height you can fit in the live cargo compartment in an airplane. Like
Mhm.
a horse demands more height.
Yeah, but I think they transport those animals via boat, right?
Ships. Yeah, probably.
Ships, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Just like Noah.
Yeah. No, yes. Are you a religious person?
No, no, but that's the only example I can came up with.
What do you know about the Bible, Pedro?
I know
I'm
it's
putting you on the
long.
spot right now.
I know it's a long book. It's kind of famous. Um, Preachers seem to know every word on it and preach on houses with crosses, which I'm not really allowed to enter.
Oh, wow.
Just kidding.
Otherwise, you burn instantly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I say to people every time before entering the threshold.
Man, so you're in the UK right now, and there's something that I really want to
Yes.
ask you. I've been waiting for this like the whole week, holding
The
this
whole
question.
week.
The whole week.
But we met 2 days ago. Are you some kind of psychic?
I know everything
All right,
about
shoot.
everyone.
Far away.
Okay, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on in the UK?
Can you please watch your language? No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, Captain America.
Who's Captain America? I'm in the UK. We don't have a Captain UK, and I don't live in America. All right. I'll start with the silly. So you were
Yeah, well,
fuckily wondering for a week about.
what's going on in the UK?
I mean, there's a lot of things going on in the UK. I wasn't aware. What kind of question is that, to be more specific?
So what I mean is, a friend of mine sent me a article like 2 days ago, and apparently the prime minister just resigned, like again.
Like the same
Boris.
prime minister, or was it a different one?
So as far as I know, it's a different one. So Boris Johnson was there,
All right. I think
and
he's still here in the country, but
yeah, but I mean, as a prime minister, and then he resigned, and then someone else took over, right? And a
mhm.
woman or something like. And like on Wednesday or something, she also resigned. So no one wants to be on power. Darren, what's going on? Do you know anything about it?
I think um, people were really excited to be part of this scenario when the queen was around, and since she's not here to have a tea and biscuits with, what's the point? I mean, I'll sure
That's a
miss
good
our
point.
Skype sessions with biscuits and discussing corgis and heavy metal bands.
Yes, yes.
No, I have
Do you
no
wanna?
idea. I, I'm, I'm not at all interested in politics, and I never follow what's going on with that. So you're kind of asking the wrong person about this.
That's okay. That's all right.
You're very much
So
asking the wrong person about this.
that's okay. I also don't know anything about politics, so that's why I'm just trying to get whatever information I can. Because from an outsider point of view, it just feels very chaotic. But to be honest, I think that's politics in general. If you look everywhere, if you look the Brazilian politics, it's just dumpster fire as well. So I also don't try to understand it.
I have no idea what's going on in Brazil as far as politics. I mean, we made plans with some friends to go to a Halloween party next week, and one of them is Brazilian, and she said, "I'm not sure if I can go because we have voting the next day," and that was a surprise for me. I had no idea.
In Brazil,
Yeah, for president,
you need to.
that's
So yeah, I mean, really, I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah. Apparently, we have the round two of voting for president.
Hmm. Are you still a Brazilian citizen?
Yes, I'm a
Okay,
Brazilian citizen living abroad.
okay. I'm asking you because you can be a Brazilian citizen living abroad. I went through this process without voting requirements. Yes, you
Are you
can
sure?
100% sure because it was the first thing that I did when I moved abroad. You need to you can resign. I don't know the correct term, but you can resign your political duties or voting duties. And if you don't do that, they're gonna supposedly expect you to
To
vote.
vote?
You won't do it, and then you're gonna have like I don't know. They're gonna put your name on the black book.
Oh no, I can't go back to Brazil now.
Uh, that's horrible, right?
Yeah. Well, if UK doesn't work, there's always life with piracy, like being a sea pirate. Or
Yeah,
Europe. Europe's right next to here, so
yeah. So, hey Pedro, I want to ask you about something else.
fine.
Before we started the stream, you're showing me your new amplifier
All right,
and your guitar, and I said it. No, no, no. Save it for the live stream.
all right.
And I'm actually curious about it. So
Well,
you bought a new Fender amplifier with the amps and everything,
revolves,
with the vaults.
volves,
Vol. I don't know what to say that. Volves.
Volve. It's
Volve. Yes.
a Valve amplifier.
Yes. But this is like old school tech, right?
Yes. I'm not super 100% on top of my amplifier history, but since instruments have been amplified, there were two types of amplifiers translating the sound from the instrument to the human ear. So you have transistor amplifiers and you have valve amplifiers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
And the Valve ones came first. Do you know?
I have no idea. Maybe,
Okay,
maybe not.
maybe. But you bought one, man.
Yeah,
Does it
I bought
sound
one
different?
because it sounds different. It has more room for loudness and for for a more crispy sound. And if you play with guitar effects with like guitar pedals, a valve amplifier can handle better distortion and other effects the way they translate to the sound they output. I used to have
Okay.
I bought like this very small transistor amplifier, and it wasn't really handling distortion and other effects. And that's why I changed to this valve amplifier.
Got it. Have you ever tried to connect your guitar to the computer?
No,
I I saw some people on YouTube, they were doing that because they actually can record what they're playing on a, I don't know, garage
yeah,
band or
yeah, but
something.
usually they'll have to go to a type of device that has an interface that can receive the sound of the guitar and input it to the computer. So it's not just like plugging your guitar straight to the your computer. There are products that you can use to do
It's
that.
it's like an audio interface, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I saw some of those to buy, but I had no idea what I was looking at because one thing that I discovered, Pedro, with those audio, like the guitar world, is like everything is like a rabbit hole. You have
Yeah,
the
everything can be a rabbit hole.
yes.
I mean, we talked
So
about guitar pedal effects, and I warned you that it could be a rabbit hole. So, how many guitar effect pedals do you have at the moment?
two.
You have from zero. You went from zero to two, and and that's just the start. I mean, once you discover new effects, it can burn a hole in your wallet if you're not too careful.
How much have you spent on uh,
I have no idea.
way too much?
Probably way more than I should have. I mean, I
How many?
have.
Mm,
You're gonna ask how many guitars I have?
no, guitar pedals.
Guitar pedals. All right, so
Yeah,
I have at least 10. Some of them are not. I still haven't brought back from Brazil. But here, I think I might have like something between 10 and 15 pedals.
just here in total.
Yeah,
And you just build your pedal board, right?
I'm still building it. I decided to change the overdrive, the main overdrive sound that I have, and I prepared an improvised pedal board just to take to the store and plug in a few um, guitar, uh, a few, don't fall, right? A few overdrive pedals just to see how they react with other pedals that I have. So this is my test pedal board at the moment.
Hell yeah.
The blue one is occupying the space of the one or two, and this one's not velcro to the board. So these two first slots will be for comparing other overdrive pedals to the orange one I have in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
There's also stuff underneath as well.
What are those underneath?
All right, so The silver one is powering everything that you see here. So you
Mm-hmm.
plug that to the electric outlet, and it'll feed energy to all the pedals. The
Mm-hmm.
black one is called a buffer. So if you're running your guitar through long cables into your pedal board, some of the clarity and some of the high notes that you play might lose their shine, and that helps bringing back the natural tone of the guitar and the loss of volume that you may experience with long cables. That's why
Mm-hmm.
you have it there. Ah, this one right here is a fuzz pedal. This one
Big
is
Big Muff.
Big Muff.
Yes, Big
And this
Muff.
one
Yes.
is the up amp pumpkin pie. It because it was created based on the sounds of Smashing Pumpkins. So the first sound that they use in their band is basically what they try to replicate with this amplifier with this effect pedal.
Mm-hmm.
After that, you have a tremolo, which is the Supro tremolo, the blue one.
Sup Supro
They are
tremolo.
they are they were usually amplifier company, but
Mm-hmm.
they do put out some nice effect pedals. So a tremolo is basically um, you whenever you hear uh, a sound where the volume alternates between a high and low volume, but it doesn't change the pitch or anything else, that's usually a tremolo.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the overdrive, which is the orange one.
The
That's
biggest one.
yeah, that's the dirty sound.
Mm-hmm.
The plum or burgundy depending on how you interpret color is another overdrive pedal, but that's not a high gain overdrive pedal. It has nice sounds. It was That's a mass production replication of a guitar effect pedal called the Prince of Tone, which is very famous in the guitar community. The silver one is boost, so it'll make stuff louder. So when you're playing a solo, that's what you wanna hit, so you can stand out better. And this one is a phase effect, which this one is the same sounds of Van Halen. So the
Mm-hmm.
phase is something like it'll capture the sound waves of your guitar and kind of delay a little bit, so you hear um, in phase. So yeah,
Like a little bit delayed, you mean?
a little bit delayed. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. To understand phase better, have you seen uh the Flash, the DC character?
Yes.
All right. So he can work with his powers to go through a wall without destroying the wall. So
Mm-hmm.
if he shakes himself uh, very fast in a low distance, he'll be like in two places at once, and he can like phase through something
Okay.
because he's replicating himself in a different position. So he's phasing himself physically from one place to another, and that's what this pedal does with sound. Kind of takes the same sound to a different position and pitch, so it'll modulate the sound in that sense. I am no I'm I'm not the expert in music and sound and all that, so that's my basic layman interpretation of what I've learned about this in the past.
No, man, it's amazing. Yeah.
No,
So
not
you
not
said
amazing. You're being too nice.
this last one. It is the one used by Van Halen.
Yeah,
Van Halen, you said. Okay.
yeah.
So which one of those do you use the most? Most of the time,
Distortion. I mean,
distortion,
overdrive. Yeah,
overdrive. Okay,
the
it's the
dirty
big one in the
sounds.
middle.
Yeah, that's the fun of playing guitar. Is going dirty and playing all the cool songs that we want to play.
So you keep the most used ones in the middle.
No, you usually you have correct uh, sequence that can be left to interpretation. Sometimes it's interesting to have modulation before your distortion, but usually you
Hmm.
have modulation and space based sounds at the end of the chain because
Hmm.
one pedal influences what happens to the next one, and the next one picks up whatever they're receiving, and the output, uh, the sound they're receiving, adding what they can do.
Because they add up, right? One,
Yeah.
it's one after the other. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. I also noticed that you have this blue plastic protection on some of
It's
the.
not a protection. It's like it's a cover, so it increases the area where I can step and make sure that I
Mm,
don't miss with my foot. So if you're playing on stage, you can have a dark stage, and that helps you make sure that you're hitting the right pedals at the right time. I mean, playing a solo without distortion that needs distortion is not always fun. So that helps, and that just makes it prettier. That's one of the reasons why they're there.
but why you didn't put it in all of them though? You just put it in some.
All right, so the end goal for this pedal board is that the the first one, the fuzz, the pumpkin
Hmm.
pie up amp, this first won't be in the final pedal board. It might be outside of it.
Okay.
And the blue one, the foot switch is smaller than the others. I mean, if you compare just the orange and the blue is smaller, so it doesn't fit with the blue.
Hmm.
So that's why he doesn't deserve the blue cover love here, just like the others.
You're gonna replace him.
No,
Poor guy. No.
no, 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 no. Um, this one will be at the end of the chain. This is not final. This is just so I can play with another pedal while before I take it to the store and replace its position with another overdrive pedal to test the pedals, like I mentioned. And yeah,
What pedal would you recommend for a first time buyer or someone who is starting their pedal collection? I would guess
distortion,
overdrive.
distortion
The
or
store.
overdrive, they kind of do
Yeah.
the same thing, but they can potentially do the same thing, but they serve the same purpose.
Hmm.
Like in a song where you have to change between clean and dirty sounds, if you don't have any pedals, you have to like lean over, press the little button in the amplifier, and then change, and then that breaks the dynamic of the music. Right? It's
Yes.
like
Yeah.
it's like what they sing in right now from Van Halen. If you miss a bit, you miss the rhythm.
Hmm. Yeah, I've been there myself. I told you, right? I was learning how to play some Nirvana songs, and they use a lot of overdrive,
Yeah.
like almost in every song. and I needed one, so it was my first pedal as well.
Yeah.
And
Whenever you
yeah,
bankrupt yourself with spending too much money on pedals, remember who helped you do that.
I will. Don't you worry. Um, yeah, I mean, you're my go-to person when it comes to guitar stuff and pedal, and
And
it's a
that's
whole new. Hmm?
and that's always a fun conversation.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You know a hell lot of a lot, and it's a whole new world for me. So,
I mean,
um,
it's a 20-year-old world for me. Like I started when I was 16.
no way, really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. My brother, I have two brothers, I'm the oldest. So my middle brother, he was nagging and nagging my mom to buy him an acoustic guitar. And for some reason that I'm not aware of, she was always saying no. I think she knew it would lead to a very loud and noisy household.
Yeah.
So she might have played it smart by saying no. But at one point she gave up and said, "All right, fine, let's buy you a guitar." So stop nagging me. And she offered to my little brother and myself if we wanted guitars as well. And I said, "Pff, no, I don't want to. I don't want this stupid instrument." But my little brother said yes. So my mom took them both to a guitar store, and they both got acoustic guitars. So I had this instrument lying around at home, and one time I went on a trip, and my brother took his guitar, and he had like this music sheet of a song he was learning, and I thought to myself, why not? So I decided to start learning it just to see if it was fun, and turns out it was. So the first song I learned to play was the intro from Fear of the Dark from Iron Maiden.
Oh yeah, good one, man. That's a good
Yeah,
first one. Yeah, yeah.
it was. And it got me interested in guitars, but it did not get me interested in acoustic guitars. So when it was time for me to get one, I bought myself an electric guitar.
And that was at what age?
16, like uh,
The same year that you
same
started
year.
learning
I mean,
guitar.
I was playing for like 6 months, and I
Okay.
got mine the day after Christmas. I went to a store and bought myself one. Had some money saved up. We all being teenagers, we know how it is to with saving money at
Yes.
that age. But I saved enough to buy me myself a really good guitar. I mean, for a starter guitar, it was a really good guitar.
Which one it was?
It was a Fender American traditional guitar, Stratocaster.
Fender. Oh, it's one of the classics, right?
Yeah, and it was a really good guitar. It served its purpose. I still enjoy it quite a lot. I changed a lot of the parts of the guitar to improve the sound and make it my own. But yeah, that was my first guitar.
Do you still own it?
Yes. I don't want,
Yes.
I would never part ways with my guitar
It's like the
or any of
something that you
them.
never. Really? How many do you own?
I have four guitars.
Four guitars, including the new one.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
uh, 1 year after moving to the UK, there was a music room in my company, and I got to play a little guitar, and that reminded me that I was missing out on playing guitar, and so I got one again.
Again.
It was the fourth, might not be the last, but yeah,
And they're all electric, right?
yes.
What happened to the first acoustic one?
It might be somewhere in my mom's house. I had no idea, and that's not mine,
You
so
do-
that's not my problem.
Oh, it was your oldest brother guitar.
No, middle brother.
Oh,
I'm the oldest.
middle brother. Okay.
It was the oldest younger brother of mine. I
What?
have two brothers. One is older, one
Yes.
is younger. So the oldest younger brother of mine had a guitar. Would you like me to explain with peanuts?
Peanuts.
All
What?
right.
I'm confused. I'm sorry.
Here you have me. I'm the oldest.
Yes.
Here you have the middle brother. And
Okay.
here you have the younger brother. He is older than him. So he's the oldest younger brother of this one.
Oh, got it. Haha.
Yeah, alcohol does that to people.
Yes, guys. For those who are just listening, we're drinking.
I'm
Yes.
drinking apple juice.
Yes, and I'm drinking water. Don't worry, guys. I have a question, but so for how long did you stay? Let's say no. For how long did not play the guitar? Because you
For a
had
year.
1 year,
Yeah,
and after you went to this music room, you just realized that it was missing in your life. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, music is fun and playing is fun. So that's why I got a guitar like the next day. And
That's
and
cool.
I brought with me some of the pedals that I owned back in Brazil. So it was a
Hmm.
plan of mine to well come back to Brazil, bring a guitar, and then continue with the musical fun that I have. But I couldn't wait.
You had a band in Brazil, right?
Maybe. Well, we haven't we weren't able to sync our schedules to rehearse enough to call ourselves a band, but yeah, maybe. Let's say yes, yes, I had a band back in Brazil.
You had a band. You shared with me some of the shows you played at.
Uh-huh.
Uh, it was very cool. Yeah. Do you
Thanks.
still? Yeah, it was. Do you still have contact with them?
Kind of. I mean, I can always message them, but you kind of lose touch with people, especially by moving abroad. You kind of lose
Yeah.
touch with a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. You just become like acquaintances, right? Like Facebook friends. Yeah.
I mean, I think once you're friends, you don't really go back to being acquaintance. Like, you can reconnect with someone like you were really good friends with, and it'll be like the last time you saw each other was the day before, and sometimes time doesn't do that effect to friendship.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What is the last guitar that you bought? There's also a Fender.
No, I spent
No.
enough money with guitar to buy a really good one again. So I bought like this mid-tier Squire, which is a brand owned by Fender, which is right here.
Yes. Show it to us.
Nice.
Don't drop it. She's beautiful.
Yeah,
But
it-
so it also belongs to Fender?
yeah. Squire is a brand by Fender. So here you can see Squire by Fender.
Oh, they just acquired the company. Cool.
Yep, that's my new loud stick in the UK.
I remember you're practicing Tenacious D, right? The roadie.
Roadie. The other
Are
day I
still
went to a karaoke. I was in a company trip. I just came back yesterday. It was in Berlin, and one of the days we went to a karaoke place, and nobody could pick a song as a starting song. So I was browsing through the list, and I saw Tenacious D, and they had Brody. So that was the first song of the room.
Really?
Yeah,
You singing?
yeah, it was fun.
That's cool. I would never expect to see Tenacious D on karaoke, to be honest.
They
When I think
had
about
Yeah, they
hmm?
had a lot of songs. They didn't have Master Exploder, which was very sad. I mean, I would have started with Master Exploder.
It's not very family friendly.
It doesn't matter. We were in a private room, so we could be as loud and stupid as we wanted to.
Yeah, but I mean, when I think about karaoke, I always think about those songs from the 80s, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the last time I've been to karaoke, but that's funny that they have Tenacious D and like rock songs. That's
Yeah,
a
they
cool
do.
karaoke
Yeah,
place. So you
I
went to
sent.
Berlin?
I have no idea. I just got in the cab where everybody was going to a karaoke place and just left the cab and went and enter a room with a lot of private rooms.
That's cool.
Yeah, it
Do
was.
do you do you still have the rock band kit? You had a rock band kit back in the days, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's back in a box in my mom's place.
Okay, yeah.
I had all the Guitar Hero and Rock Band and whatever band hero, whatever they had for. I had it for the Nintendo Wii, and it was very fun. I used to host like this Guitar Hero parties with my friends, and it was always fun.
So I remember back in the days there were two teams, the Guitar Hero team and the Rock Band team. Which one you belong to?
Both. I mean,
Both.
if you own enough Guitar Hero and Rock Band games, you really just own one really good Guitar Hero Rock Band game. Like you can change from one game to another, and all of those games put together will help you create a great experience if you're playing like for a long time in a day. Like if you're
Yeah.
having a Guitar Hero party or a Rock Band party.
Yeah.
So they people used to ask me, "Oh, which is your favorite?" And that's kind of what I said. Like they all combined are my favorite game because you never stick to only one when you're playing with people. Just
Yeah.
shift from one to the other because oh now I want to play this song and now let's we're done with these songs. Like let's go to the next one, to the next one, and to the next one, and back to the other ones you've played before. Because as long as people want to be loud and stupid, let's keep the
Yeah.
rotation.
That's right. Yeah. I had both back in the days, the Guitar Hero 3 for the Wii,
Oh yeah,
and
Guitar Hero 3 was the best.
it was the fourth was, I think, called World Tour or something like
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah.
It was not as good as Guitar Hero 3.
No game is as good as Guitar Hero 3.
I agree. I had a friend of mine. He was like the biggest fan of Guitar Hero 3 in the world. But the thing is, he had no guitar. I was like, "What the fuck, dude? How do you play this game?" He's like, "No, no, no. I can do everything on the controller itself."
The
I was
first
like,
time I
"This
played
is
Guitar Hero 3 was in a controller.
really?"
Yeah.
And it's fun, right?
It it is fun, but the game wasn't mine. My former brother-in-law got it, but he wasn't into music that much, so he tried for like 5 minutes and gave up. And I spent the whole night playing by myself, like on the controller, like trying to replicate movements and
Yeah.
patterns that I would do in guitar, but with the controller, like it was fun. And if you're into music or into playing an musical instrument, that can be fun. That can be really fun. And
Yeah.
if you don't have a guitar around, it can be as fun with a controller.
I had a friend. He also had no. He didn't even had the PlayStation. He had no PlayStation. He had no guitar. So what he just had a computer. So what he did was he just downloaded the game on his computer. Don't ask me how. And he
Uh,
yeah,
good
yeah, and
good
he had
days back in Brazil.
good days in Brazil. You know what I'm talking about.
Wait, my apple juice just ended. I need more apple juice. Sorry, you were saying?
No worries. For some apple juice. So he
Healthy.
had no. Hmm?
Apple juice is healthy. It's good for the mind. Keeps the mind sharp.
I like.
You were saying?
Yeah, yeah. I lost track. He so oh yeah, yeah.
Sorry
So
for
so this
keep
friend.
interrupting you.
No words. Uh,
Are you sure?
I forgot what I was about to say. I hate you, son of a bitch.
Alright, so you
No,
were saying how much you loved Lego and how much you like watching chimpanzees at the zoo.
how'd you know that? I
I
love.
mean, there's a lot you can learn about a person by just knowing them 2 days.
You're joking about it, but back in Berlin, I when I was living in Berlin, they had this shopping mall, where next to the zoo, and they had like this big window where you could just see the baboons in the zoo from the shopping mall. And sometimes I would just go there and look at the baboons. It's so funny.
All right.
Yeah, from the shopping mall, it's funny. But what I want to say is, this friend of mine, he had the keyboard like this on his chest, and he set like the keys. I don't know, F1, F2, F3, and
Uh-huh.
F4 as the guitar keys, and he would just play like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
I mean,
And
that's crafty. That's
yeah,
resourceful.
in Brazil we say jeitinho brasileiro.
The Brazilian way. This is the way.
This is the way. Did you watch Mandalorian?
Yes, I did. Did
It's
they
fucking
have
great.
did they release the new season? Yeah?
No, they released Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. Yeah. I haven't watched
Bo-
that one yet.
Hmm, it's not that good.
Yeah, but Mandalorian was really, really good. Like, I'm
I
not a big fan of uh, Star Wars stuff that doesn't have Jedi's. Like I didn't like Rogue One. Mandalorian was so good.
This is over. What? No, you didn't like Rogue One?
Yeah, it
Really?
was stupid.
Why? Why?
Because everyone has their own taste, and mine does not include liking Rogue One.
Come on, be more
I know.
specific, man.
I thought it was boring. I thought it was pointless, and it was just something so Disney earned more money, in my opinion.
I would agree. I agree on that when it comes to the new trilogy. Oh no, come
Uh,
on. What is this? My? Do you like the new trilogy?
no, 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 no. Let me be the host for just a minute here.
Okay,
All right. So,
okay.
do you like Star Wars?
I do.
All right. So, you've seen all nine, uh, three trilogies, or
I watched
the
it
three.
all.
All right. So, how would you categorize the nine movies according from the ones you like the most from the ones that you like the least? So, which would be like your top three, your middle three, and your worst three?
You're just talking about the trilogies, right?
No, the individual movies from the trilogies. So
Oh,
amongst the
okay.
nine ones, which ones are your top three, your middle three, and your bottom three?
Okay. So number one, I would say Return of sorry, The Empire Strikes Back.
All right.
A new so first one, Strikes Back. Second, Hope. Third, the Return of the Jedi. So the first trilogy, basically.
All right. So those are your top three.
Yeah. Oh, and I would also, I think I would also put Rogue One
Rogue
in
One
the
doesn't
four.
count. No, it doesn't count. It's not
Come
part of
on.
it. It's not part. You have to respect the rules of the game. So the game is for the
What?
nine main
Mm,
movies. Who are which ones are the ones you like the most, and which ones are you
yeah.
like the least, and what's the crap that sits in the middle?
Well, one that I like the least, the worst of them all, is um, this one by Ryan Johnson. I even forgot the name. I want to erase it from my memory. It's
What's the number?
it's not the last one. It's the one before it.
It's the
It's
eighth.
episode 8. Yeah, I forgot how it's called. It's the worst one. It
All
doesn't make
right.
any sense. It doesn't connect to anything.
All
You
right.
you can skip it. You can completely skip it. You can watch episode 7 and episode 9, and it makes sense because episode 8 doesn't develop anything. So I would say episode 8 is the worst one. Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add to that fun list? You can't say anything about Rogue One. Rogue One. Sorry.
I think that's it. I mean, the prequels are okay. I like the music in the even Ewan McGregor is great. He's the best part of the prequels. And yeah, I think that's it. And I think that bringing Palpatine back as the last resource was a little bit unimaginative. And
Right.
yeah, that's about it.
All right. So I'm about to share a very unpopular opinion about favorites to most hated in the Star Wars category. So let's start with the bottom of the list. For me,
Mhm.
the worst movie in the main franchise is Empire Strikes Back. It sucks. If I can, if I have to choose one movie that I don't want to watch again if I'm watching everything, it would be Empire Strikes Back. It doesn't do anything for me. All the others, they're alright, but my favorite ones, in no particular order, are I think in third is Return of the Jedi. That's a really nice movie to watch. The silver medal would be the eighth movie. Yeah, I mean, I grew up with Star Wars. I watched Star Wars when I was little. It was okay, but the eighth for me is really really good. And the ninth movie. Those two are my favorites amongst the nine main Star Wars movies. A lot of people didn't like the comedy they added to episode eight, and I'm not sure if there's any comedy in nine. But let's say let's for the sake of comedy, the episode eight had a lot of funny relief moments, which were really really good in my opinion, and that might have been what was missing from the other ones.
Okay, so let
Oh, and
me let
episode seven sucks as well. So I watched seven because I felt like I had to. It was horrible. But then
so seven. Mhm.
a friend of mine watched episode eight and said that it was really good. And I swore to myself I wasn't gonna watch it because of seven, but I gave it a chance because he mentioned it was really really good, and no regrets.
Okay, so let's see. Let me see if I get this right. You like eight the most because of the
No, I
comedy.
think
That's it.
nine. Well, 8 and 9 are tied. Eight
Okay.
and nine are tied
Okay.
in first, then six, and the worst ones are 7 and 5.
7-5.
So
Yeah,
five
I
being
mean,
Empire's Respect.
I can see why you wouldn't like seven, because seven is just like a remake, let's say, in
Yeah,
many ways of
right.
previous Star Wars movies. But it's really curious to see that you like eight the most. I get the comedy. I also like the comedy, but I think they went a little bit too far in certain places.
Like,
As um, like I felt watching the movie, I felt that Poe and Finn, they were very impulsive, and even like they had this teenager vibe to them, even though they're like grown up men. But I wouldn't even worry too much about it. My main complaint about eight is really that it doesn't connect the trilogy, right?
didn't matter to me.
Didn't matter to you?
No.
Okay. Let me ask you something else. What was your opinion on how Luke Skywalker was portrayed?
I mean, it was his turn to be Yoda, I guess. I mean, every trilogy needs some sort of Yoda, some wise person to guide the new generation. So it was alright. I feel like he had his traumas from back the day, and he didn't really get to be very involved in everything. Which, I mean, he was on vacation, and this girl just came to his island and started nagging him about wanting a new guitar. I'm connecting to the guitar story here. And then he finally said yes, and that was what got him killed. And I mean, that's not fun for anybody. He didn't want to. He just wanted to spend the rest of his days sipping margaritas in a weird fish island and not worry
Yeah,
about life.
but he was not drinking margaritas. He was like drinking blue milk from the titties of this old alien, right? Remorseful, and he was angry and remorseful and bitter.
Have you ever
And
tried blue milk?
no.
So you can understand what he was going through.
Are you watching Andor? They have a lot of scenes with blue milk
I
on it.
started
Yeah.
to watch. I watched like earlier this week before traveling. The first episode was okay. Half of it was just background noise for me. I just paid half attention to it. It was nice. I might give it a chance to watch it entirely, but I still have. I don't. I can't add too much to Andor's conversation. Andor conversation just yet. But if we're talking about She-Hulk, then it's a different situation.
Oh, She-Hulk's great. I love it.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah,
I enjoyed it as well.
and
Can
and
we give
and that,
spoilers here?
of course. Oh, guys, spoilers. Yeah,
How many
there we go.
guys? How many are there? Is there anybody watching right now?
No, not right now. Like, come on, Pedro. I have 32 subscribers.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. Uh, it doesn't prevent you to have live live audience whenever you're putting some content in the web. So I was just curious. Maybe someone was here and you might want to involve them in the conversation, like open for questions or I don't know. Looking at the private the chat, there are no messages or oh there always said Lily in no someone said Lily in the comments.
Yes, there's one comment, but it's from 1 hour ago. It's about when Lily showed up.
All right. So if Bruna, if you're watching this again, hey Bruna, thanks for the little love. This last part is for you now. So how can we entertain Bruna when she's watching?
Uh,
All
I,
right, let's
bring
go
Lily
back
back.
to the conversation. So She-Hulk. She-Hulk was it was very fun to watch. Like it's a different take on superhero stuff. She talks to the camera a lot, which is always fun when done right.
Yes.
There's even a
Were
thing
you
with Netflix as well, where she goes to the
Netflix?
menu. Yeah, the last episode.
No. Oh yeah, yeah. Were you surprised by that when she gets out of the screen?
I was, but it made sense because she's a superhero and she talks to the audience, so it seemed fair to have done what she done there. Spoilers, spoiler alert in reverse if you heard about it before watching. And sorry, not sorry. It's been out for a few weeks. You should have watched it before this interview.
It's okay, man. I I think
I'm
Marvel
not talking to you.
consider.
I'm talking to your audience, the people who will
Yeah,
be watching this afterwards, the
dude.
future
I think
generations.
Marvel considers every materials spoilers free. I think after 2 weeks officially they said if it's been 2 weeks after release and you haven't watched it yet, it doesn't matter. You can talk about it. I think they said this somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, uh, Avengers Endgame had just been released, and one day I was in the supermarket and I got a really big spoiler just by walking through the aisles.
But someone else talking between them.
Yeah, I just overheard, and it was not a spoiler I would like to have had before watching the movie.
What was it?
That Captain America picked up Thor's hammer.
Oh fuck,
Yeah,
man.
that's not something you want to know before watching. Like
No,
whenever I'm in a movie theater and the trailers are going on, I'm sitting quietly in my corner, covering my ears, closing my eyes, humming something in my mind so it blocks the outside noise because trailers are full of spoilers, and I like to go to a movie as spoiler free as I can.
they are trailer nowadays is just crazy. They have so much spoiler on them.
Posters are spoiler full.
Posters,
So
no.
posters,
Which
yeah,
one?
I mean any poster, you get to see characters, how they look like. Names of movies have spoilers as well.
What are you
So,
talking about?
all right,
Which one?
so
Like the
uh,
Invisible Man. It's a movie about an
no, no,
invisible
no, no, no,
man. Now, come on.
Avengers, Age of Ultron. Like,
Okay.
if you want to go spoiler free to that movie, Age of Ultron hints that Ultron might be the villain if you're not aware with the comic book stories. So when I was watching it, the name Ultron popped up in the name of the movie, and it kind of spoiled the surprise of hearing that Ultron was being said, and he turned out to be the villain. So if I didn't know the name Ultron before watching the movie, it would be a, a surprise for me during the movie. Like, oh, Ultron is this AI that Iron Man is trying to develop to protect the world, and it goes haywire.
But I think with Marvel, it's a little bit harder to be spoiler free because there's so many years of comics. It goes back to what, the 60s. I don't even know anymore. But
Hmm.
all those stories that we are watching on the cinema nowadays,
Yeah.
they
Right.
have been out there forever. So
I have a good example here of how I was spoiler free for something really good that I watched in the movies. Have you
okay,
watched Amazing Spider-Man 2?
with with Andrew Garfield.
with Andrew Garfield.
Yes.
Yeah, so Gwen Stacy dies. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I had no idea she would die. It was a complete surprise for me. And a Spider-Man fan would know that she would die. So as she was falling, I mean that thrill like, is he gonna be in time to save her? Is he not? And then you hear her head hitting the floor, which is heartbreaking. And I had no idea. So that for me, it was a very fun, spoiler-free experience.
Oh. Oh man. Oh yeah.
Do
She
you need a
died.
minute to
It
cry
was so
about this?
fun. No, 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 no. But it's just funny the way you said, "Oh yeah, she died." It was a fun experience to me.
I
Yeah, but
didn't want her. I didn't want her to die, but it was nice to not know.
yeah, I know what you mean. I,
Not that I enjoy
I
watching people die for no
that's what it
reason.
sounded like.
Well, well. No, it was really, really rewarding not knowing what will happen and learn as it happened.
Hmm.
And spoiler sucks.
Yeah, going back to Endgame though, did you got any other spoilers besides
No, just this
Steve?
one.
No, yeah, it's a fucking great movie, right?
It's a freaking great movie.
Yeah, yeah, I remember it when I went to the cinema to watch this one. I was on the edge of my seat. Like at the end of the movie, I was like, I was so immersed on this incredible like saga that Kevin Feige created, and it's crazy. And I couldn't remember the last time that I felt so immersed in a piece of like entertainment like that. It was
Cobra
incredible.
Kai.
Cobra,
Cobra
yes,
Kai. Like
almost.
the end of the fourth season for me was really good. Like I jumped from a scene when they revealed the character that appeared at the last scene.
Yeah, yeah, but let me ask you something. Did you watch Cobra Kai the movies, the original movies, back in the days before the series?
There are no original Cobra Kai movies.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, but they're all
Ah,
connected
come on.
movies. No, yeah. I
Ca-
watched back in the day. When I heard that
Karate Kid. Yeah.
Karate Kid, yeah.
Mm,
When I heard Cobra Kai was going to be released, I was really excited, and I got my girlfriend to watch it with me.
yeah.
But she didn't watch the original ones when she watched. So the first season was okay for her because she didn't watch the original movies, and for me it was
Mm.
freaking great because I watched the movies and it was so cool. Everything was. Let's not discuss how cool Cobra Kai is, otherwise that'll be the whole conversation from now on to the end.
I'm okay with that. I loved Cobra Kai.
But I realized how much they were going to connect the movies, and I got my girlfriend to watch the first movie afterwards, so she would have fun in the second season, which she did after watching the movie, the Karate Kid one. But then we watched the third season, which was connected to the second movie, and I wasn't
Mm,
aware that they were gonna do that. So when they connected to the second movie, it wasn't as entertaining for her as it would be if she watched the movies. And then I knew that for season four, they were going to connect with the third movie. So we had to watch the movie because if you just watch Terry Silver being Terry Silver during the Cobra Kai episodes, you can get like he's a villain, he wants to take over the world with Cobra Kai, but you don't have the same you don't know how he was, what he did in the past, and how much you want to see him fail at his attempt because you're not aware of the evil guy that he was in the movie.
yes.
So to understand the motivation of the main characters to stop him, you have to experience what they experience in the movies. And so before season 4, we watched together Karate Kid 3, and it was for her it was as enjoyable as season 2, knowing the story that she had to know before watching season 4. And then season 5, of course, is just an echo of what goes on because of the third movie. And yeah,
Season 5 is the last one. I know there's a new one that just came out. Season 5. I haven't watched this one. Did you?
yeah, yeah, it was great.
It's great. And there's more, or that's the final one? You can tell me, just me.
I know I can tell you. All right, so what else is going on in your life? How's Lily? I'm not
Oh,
gonna
come on.
answer. I'm not gonna answer this question.
Well, I will tell you something. I have when I started watching Cobra Kai, I didn't know the movies existed, right?
Really?
And yeah, I just maybe I heard about them, but I never watched it. So the thing is, I enjoy Cobra Kai so much that I stopped watching Cobra Kai altogether just to watch the original movies for the first time. And I had such a great time that I just became a fan instantly. And Pat Minara, I think that's the name of
Pet Morita.
Pat Morita. Yeah, he's so charismatic.
Yeah.
He does his his role so well. He plays his role so well. You just want to have a little Pat Minara in your life, to teach you about the ways of karate.
he
Karate.
he wasn't he wasn't the first choice of the studio. I've seen a video of
Really?
people talking about. Yeah, someone said, "Oh, we have this Miyagi character, and we want to do with Pet Morita," and they were
Pat
like,
Morita.
"The comedian? Are you sure? Nah, let's not do that." So people were against having that guy as the knowledgeable karate sensei because, well, in life, not everybody's gonna like you, and some of the people in the studios they knew of him and didn't want him because of his rap or how he was a comedian, and this was a more serious role.
Yeah.
But luckily for us, they casted him, and he's the best Mr. Miyagi there is.
And if I'm not mistaken, what do you mean? There's no other Mr. Miyagi.
He could have been someone else.
That's true. Do you know who else was
No,
beaten? Connecting to the Star Wars talk that we were talking about Star Wars. If I'm not mistaken, I think they Yoda was based on the on Mr. Miyagi, or the other way around, or Mr. Miyagi was based on Yoda. Do you know anything about that? Search mode. Pedro is in search mode.
all right. So Star Wars was released in on December 27th, 1977, and Karate Kid. Still another tab because I'm kind of drunk. Yeah, Karate Kid was 7 years later, so Mr. Miyagi might have been based on Mr. Greenman Yoda. I was gonna say Mr.
I
Miyagi, but that brings back to the apple juice.
Hey Pedro, I want you to change the subject real quick.
Why do you hate Cobra
Uh,
Kai?
I love Cobra Kai, but I want to talk about something
Yeah,
else
sure. No,
also.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Because we're both artists
All right.
and we're both working in the game industry.
Yes. Yes.
And in the past few year, I would say last year, there's this huge discussion about AI and how AI is taking over, or will take over many digital artists jobs. Because if you check tools like Dali or Mid Journey. I'm not sure if you try them. You can just
No.
write a sentence or a
Uh
phrase,
huh.
or like a combination of words, keywords, and it just auto generate like five options for you, and then you can select one of the options and it just generates more five options, and you can keep going. And you can have your like 80% of, I would say 80% of your artwork done. You just need to adjust some things or two on Photoshop because it's not always perfect. But a lot of people are really, really, I think the right word would be scared about this new technology. And I personally have mixed feelings about it. I think we need to embrace it and adapt, because it's just one of those things that either you learn or you learn, otherwise you lose your job. It's one of those things that you need to adapt. But I want you to have your opinion on this. What do you think about it?
I think that in companies, they're always looking for ways to speed up processes and be more agile. And I think that by having that, they can embrace with really good sketches beforehand. You get to the actual work, but you can. It's hard to replace the artists behind the games because that's how they bring up a lot of references from from research and put their own unique style to it. And no matter how many keywords you have, uh, fine tuning to the art direction of a game is something that it needs the human mind to do. So you can say field of lilies, and you could end up with flowers or naked cats, and you might look like. I mean, I can defend AI artists, like AI being artists, but I'm not sure how they would do something that stands out and has some uniqueness to it. Like uniqueness being the word that AI might produce some very good things, but it might be generic, like a very beautiful generic thing.
Have have you tried Mid Journey? No. Okay. So on Mid Journey, you can specify the art style. You can say, for example, uh, apple juice, uh,
Lily,
lily, in Van Gogh style, or Rembrandt style, or whatever artist style, because it's all connected into the internet, right? So you can just research the style of whatever artist you specify, and it brings the artwork in this style. So you can say lily, apple juice, cartoony, Disney-like, uh, hyper-realistic 3D Pixar movie, and it will actually kind of get there.
I think it might take you like 90% there, but after that 90%, there's still another 90% to get to the perfect state that you would like to.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
agree?
I agree. I agree. The way I see it is, it's just a tool, like any other tool. It's like Photoshop or Google Images or a new plugin that you install. It's just a tool, and you need to incorporate in your workflow to make your work faster.
Yeah.
Because you're competing with everyone else who also have access to the same tool, so you need to take advantage of it.
But how
And
are people using this at the moment?
I know some high profile art folks who are, and is AI art is still in the infancy, right? It's still in the beginning, but it's already, as we agreed, already making like 80% of the work, 90% of the work in some cases. Now, imagine in like 10 years from now, how far this tool gonna be. And but the way I see it is a tool like any other. And at the end of the day, humans will still be needed, like you mentioned, because uh, you still need a human with the vision of the art direction vision of the game. You're still gonna need someone who says the game gonna have this style, this fits into our style, this does not, and kind of have everyone and all art style under the same umbrella.
Uh-huh.
Because that's not something that the AI can do. You cannot like create a whole game, all the different assets, all in the same art style. At some point, it will vary a little bit.
Yeah, and you also need people that will execute and make sure that the words and definitions of the art direction and the output are provided from UI will bridge correctly.
Definitely, yeah, 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 for sure. And so there are two big ones as far as I know in the market right now. So Mid Journey that I Dali, something like that. And I tried both, and I tried the same keyword on both,
Uh-huh.
and it gives me like completely different results.
Mm-hmm. It's just like people because the AI were written differently.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Are you afraid that this will take
No.
over? No, not at all.
Well, I can speak for myself. I work at King and we embrace cultural differences and people coming together and creating great stuff. So it's, I mean, we're part of Microsoft now, but there's always the human touch and the human side of it at King at least.
For how long have you been working at King?
83 days.
How? Why so specific?
Actually, 82. Sorry,
How do you know that?
because I went to a work offsite in Berlin that I returned yesterday, and we had this icebreaker session at the start of the first day, and we had to have some cool, fun, weird facts. And I just looked up the calendar and saw how many days I was working, and that's why I knew
Okay, all right.
how many days I was working there.
How do you liking so far?
I'm loving it.
You're loving it? Yeah.
It's a great place to be. It's full of kindness and people wanting to collaborate and coming together to improve the life of people who play our games.
And I think you told me that you're working on Candy Crush. Are we allowed to talk about those things, or
Well, there's this
you?
game we're not really supposed to talk because it's not really out there.
Oh, so let's not put you in
Called
trouble.
Candy Crush Saga.
Oh,
We're
okay.
actually celebrating 10 years of Candy Crush Saga. On, if I'm not mistaken, on November 14th, that's the birthday of Candy Crush Saga, which is the oldest and the main game from King.
10 years of Candy
10 years of
Crush.
fun. Yeah, 10 years of fun.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
So
A mobile game can't survive that long.
2012. Which iPhone came out in 2012? Do you know?
I had no idea, but I remember we were scared about the end of the world in 2012.
I have it noted down. iPhone 5.
iPhone 5.
Man, I remember Candy Crush was and still is a big thing.
Yeah.
That's cool. And the end of the world, yeah.
There was talks about end of the world in 2012. Yeah.
Were you afraid of it?
Yeah.
No. Thought
I
it was
mean,
all bullshit. This
it was all
Mayan.
bullshit. One day it will not be, but it was. I thought it wouldn't be that day, and I was
So
right.
you've been to Berlin, right?
Yes.
So I lived in Berlin for almost 3 years,
Uh-huh.
and when was working back there, and I would like to know what do you think about Berlin? How did you like the city?
I mean,
Or it was too fast?
it's like it was too fast. It felt like any other metropolis from a nice country.
Nah, come on, don't say
Like
that.
it checked the list like for the basics. Just like if
Starbucks.
if you would go to London or New York,
Yeah,
they, they all have their own spices and flavors, but
yeah,
they're very similar in essence.
yeah, yeah. All metropolis. That's how you say. I know what you were talking about. They all have checked the same boxes, but I would say I think my question is more related to the what is different in our opinion about Berlin because uh, coming from someone who lived there, I really got a sense of the essence of the city. Right, it's really it's like the techno scene of the world is there, and it has all those underground parties, and they're very proud about it. But I guess if you just stay 2 days there,
Yeah, I didn't
you
experience as much to tell, but I noticed that there were a lot of people speaking German there.
have you
Anyways,
learned have you learned anything German? Any word in German?
no, but
In
as
German,
I
that
as,
hast du etwas Deutsch gelernt? Anything else you want me to translate?
Oh man,
is
it's
there
Google.
anybody else in the interview that I'm not aware of?
It's Google Home. She's a
Uh,
stalker.
Es ist Google-Startseite.
Hey Google,
Shut up.
Hallo Google.
stop.
All right.
Got it. If you ever want to use this again, just say, be my German interpreter.
Oh, it's because you're talking about German.
All right. So, in my flight back to the UK, there was not a new word I've learned, but the girl was playing a very hard game, and she was saying "scheißen" a lot. Like it was one. I mean, it, they had the count of attempts in a level, and she was like up to 200 since she started just on her seat in the flight, and she said "scheißen" at least 190 times.
You know what it means now?
Yeah. No, I knew what it meant.
Okay, okay, you knew it already.
Yeah. It means great, right?
Little, yeah. Yes, it means my life is great.
Well, this interview is no, I'm just kidding.
What? What?
I was gonna use the word after in the sentence I was saying. Well, this interview is scheiße because it's great.
For those who are just listening, I'm rolling my eyes. Man. So it was your first time in Germany?
No, I've been there once before a few years ago, but it was in Munich,
In
and it
Munich.
felt it felt similar to Munich, or might or I didn't spend enough time outside in Berlin to properly compare.
Yeah. Have you
We
tried
were
the
drunk
German
half the
beer?
time.
Drunk?
Yeah, we were drunk half the time. I mean, the only time I spent walking around the streets of Berlin, we were doing a treasure hunt game as part of,
Oh, geocaching.
if you say so.
It was like on the cell phone or
Yeah, we had this tablet. They hired a company. They provided the tablets with a lot of questions. We had to go to the positions to solve riddles or take pictures or whatnot. And at one point, we got bored from the game and decided to go to a coffee shop. We ordered some coffee, sat on a table, and just started going through all the questions that we could uh, while talking in a coffee shop. And so yeah, we were cheating like a lot. So the last day they were announcing the winner from the treasure hunt, and they went from the lowest score winners to the winners. And a guy next to me, we were talking, and I said, "Oh my God, I cannot hear our name because we cheated. We didn't want to win." And they said, "Oh, the least winner got 300 points." There were people that
Okay.
they had issues with the devices and etc. The other team went for 400 points. The third team was called Blah. They had 820 points. And we were like, oh my God, we don't deserve this. We were very, very ashamed of. And then he said, and the team four, the second team got 840 points. And team all about the base was our team. You got 880 points and you won. And we were like, oh my God, we didn't.
Did you guys accept the
We didn't get anything because they said that would be a award for the winner, but as some of the teams had issues, we had the issue of cheating was very easy in the game, but some people had technical issues, so everybody was winners. And
Ah, that's lame. Come on, everyone's the winner.
well, if it's not fair for everybody, then the
Yeah.
competition is not doesn't make sense to compete and be rewarded for something that nobody some people didn't have the same chance that you have.
Well, I mean, that's life, right? Okay, I'm joking. I'm just putting you in a hard spot. I'm joking. But I
Yeah.
know what you mean. Pedro, it's been 1 hour and a half. I mean, I would love to keep talking to you, but that's our time. Uh,
All right.
man, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for doing that. And I really enjoyed talking to you.
Thanks
Cheers.
so much.
And
Anytime.
all right. And if you would like to share any of your websites or anywhere where people can learn more about your work, feel free.
All right.
Or I think put on the description already, right?
Maybe that's easier.
Yeah, that's easier. Okay, man. Take care and talk to you soon.
All right. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks so much for being here.